Welcome to MSP Waves Radio. You are listening to the Minnow Mayor Town Hall. This is a voice of @Agrode. And I was about to say my witness number, but I actually haven't checked it today. I'm usually, or these days, I'm hanging around witness number 7, but I think it's poor form to say I'm number 7 if I'm not. Yeah, I'm sitting there at number 7. I'm still there. So life's pretty good. There were some changes that happened at the Minnow Support Project, and I thought maybe we should go talk about those. I asked Crimson Clad and Discordiant if they would want to come on to go talk about it, but in full transparency, I asked them like 5 minutes ago. So it looks like I gotta go do this thing myself. And so on the Minnow Support Project blog, let me go find this post. Important changes to the Minnow Support upvote bot behavior. All right, so put simply, it's getting drained, and part of the reason why it was getting drained, I don't know. I have some mixed feelings about this, or some thoughts about it, but ultimately I did end up deciding that this is a good change, and we'll see what happens with it. But we've gone from having the bot be able to vote once every 12 hours, or people being able to use the bot once every 12 hours, to being able to use the bot once every 24 hours. And what I think the hope is that the value per vote will go up, and ideally the quality of post that people choose to use it on will go up. I have some concerns that it won't necessarily work that way, but, I'm willing to go give this thing a shot. I personally think as long as we have a bot that is free for the public to use, that basically anywhere between a US dollar value of 25 cents to 35 cents, people will keep using it. And so if it gets above that, more people will just start using it. So we'll see if this does anything. I definitely think it's a worthwhile experiment. It is a difference than what we've been doing for since June. We've been doing 2 votes a day. So this is the first time that we've only been doing 1 vote a day, but, I think it should be pretty good. Okay. So what else? The goal is to make it so that the vote is worth more than 15 cents of rewards on Steemit. But honestly, I think it's just going to stay there. I think more people will get it. More different people. So maybe that is a good thing. Another thing that we did is that we've had some post guidelines for a while instead of... we've had some post guidelines for a while that, here's our standards. We don't basically, and frankly, we don't want shit posts. And we describe shit posts basically as anything that is just a meme and nothing else. Anything that sometimes even some of the mods are pretty strict about. Like if you put up a D2 video, even if it's original content, but this is an authoring platform, this is a writing platform, and you don't put anything else there, some of the mods will even call that a shitpost. I'm not sure that I agree with that personally, but I don't disagree with it so strongly enough that I fought it. So we've made that change too. So it's not a change. The guidelines have been here for a while, but we kind of picked on 3 different tools: D-Mania, D-Live, and Steepshot, all of which basically encourage extremely short text posts. And a lot of folks around here didn't think that was what we want our minnows working on. We don't think that it provides enough high-quality content. Not that you couldn't potentially make high-quality content, but what we're mostly seeing in the upvote channel from these 3 programs in particular is not it doesn't fit the criteria that we've had more or less since we started in terms of what makes for really fantastic posts. So for now, we're going to try, and again, all of this stuff is experimental. If it's a horrible flop, we can go back, but for now, what we're doing is we're saying, all right, we're going to filter out posts by D-Mania, posts by D-Live, and posts by Steepshot. So, if you use the bot on them, it won't even put you into cooldown. We're just going to tell you that you have to use it on a different post. Something that it actually, like, you can't just walk around your house, take a photo, put that up, and upvote it. You gotta, like, write a couple paragraphs, at least describe some of the things in your room or whatever the hell you're gonna do. We want proof of brain. We want some thought. We want it to be original content that adds value to the network. And we're a little nervous that just handful of memes don't do that, or videos that don't even linger on the platform won't do that. So that's the approach that the Minnow Support Project is taking right now, at least in terms of the upvote bot. So that is that's an ongoing thing. Okay, so I'm actually getting... there's a lady in here by the name of Mrs. Lauren. If somebody could go find her and give her some advice. Look for the room with all the people on the left. Mrs. Lauren is a brand new Steamian, I'm imagining, or at least she's brand new to the Minnow Support Project. So if you guys could help steer her into this channel so that she can listen to the radio, that'd be fantastic. And we'll add another listener and maybe add another Minnow to the community. So that's one of the changes that's happening to the Minnow Support Project. What else did we talk about? I got to go post some meeting minutes. We got a little bit behind, so I'm going to be adding more of them. So I think I have 3 or 4 different posts to go add over this coming week, just in terms of minutes and catching up. And then the last part of this is, I guess there's 2 parts. We have been discussing sacrificing Discordiant. He's not online tonight, so this makes a pretty good discussion point, just to satisfy Shane's curiosity of what that would do for us. So maybe that's a topic of discussion. Shane, if you want to come on and talk about sacrificing Discordiant, we can at least have the conversation. The last thing that is going on is we're changing some of the way that we're going to handle our finances. The Minnow Support Project has... we get some money, right? And when we post right now, like this upvote bot behavior post is, it's got $150 of rewards on steamit.com. But the way that it actually works is you take 150 and you multiply that by 0.4 and you get to 60. So there's 60 SBDs, and you multiply that by 7 or so, which is what the value is right now, and you get up to $420. So this one post from yesterday is a $420 post that's in a liquid format. So some of this value is going to go to, we don't power down the bot. We're just going to keep trying to grow the bot, but we also get some liquid funds, and we're trying to figure out what to do with them. We have some projects that are ongoing that we have to pay for. The original upvoting bot is a script that we've paid for labor and time and running the server for. We have some costs for MSP Waves. We have some ongoing technology costs. There's a bunch of servers that we're renting. And so there's some costs. And so we want to be transparent about what those costs are. But then there might even be some money left over. And so starting to think that we can host some additional projects. I see Claiborne in the audience. This is still super, super infant. So I don't want to spend too much time on it, and I don't want you guys to drill me about it, because it's not even fully established or fully started. But one of the things that I'm thinking about, and I'm going to put a post out about this, but I think I put out that I think Steam is going to be worth $50 by the end of the year. I think it's actually going to be worth quite a bit more than that. And if I explain myself there, I think this is a year that we go from 20,000 Bitcoin to just shy of 100,000. It's 50 to 100,000, something like that. If that happens, the altcoins are going to go through the roof. And all of this is because we have an enormous number of people that are joining into cryptocurrency in general. So let me show you this. It was actually Steemit.com, or the Steemit folks are the people that initially showed me this. They put it in a Steemit blog post. This is called blocktivity.info. I guess I'll go include the web URL in this little picture that I'm going to add. But I'm going to pop this little sucker in there. And one of the things about this is that if you look at this, right now, right now isn't the like best example because Ethereum is not immediately overloaded, but it's not going to take many more transactions before they go from 57% activity to totally capped out. And if you look at Bitcoin currently has over 54,000 unconfirmed transactions. If we go up to $70,000 Bitcoin, this community will have probably quadrupled in size, meaning the blockchain community as a whole. And if we quadruple in size, Bitcoin and Ethereum are basically going to break. Not meaning that the coins are going to falter and you can't actually trade them or use them. It's just that the number of people trying to make transactions is going to exceed the block limit, and therefore, like, it's just going to take you forever. And like we've already seen during high active times with Ethereum, like you can't get transactions through. Like when they were at that record of 1.372 million transactions, you couldn't get a transaction through. It's actually, I think EOS is going to be like this really phenomenal coin. And in fact, I think it's going to make a lot of money. And I even have thoughts of buying it. I just can't stomach the idea of sitting there for like 3 hours trying to buy an ERC20 token because it's so frustrating at times. So what does that get me to? I think this community is going to go explode, meaning all of crypto. And when that happens, all of these coins that are basically near or at capacity are going to stop functioning in the ways that like normal people can use them. And the only ones that are going to be left standing are going to be the delegated proof of stake coins that I call Dan coins. So I think that's going to be Steem. I think that's going to be BitShares. And I think EOS, when it actually gets launched on its own thing, I think it's the Dan coins that are going to be left standing. I also think Cardano, which is it's a blend of Ethereum and kind of a shitty DPoS model or DPoS model. It's a blend of those two. That one actually might hold up too. So those are like the 4 coins in my head that by the end of the year, we're really going to have like one hell of a year. So that's where my brain is going. My brain is saying, I know Dan said it's not good, but he can be pretty bitchy about other coins. So I think he's pissed that they're ripping off some of his ideas, which they absolutely are. And yeah, it's sort of like a blend of proof of work and delegated proof of stake, and it's not as good as his proof of stake model. So he's kind of shitting on it. But I think that has a lot of like personality built into it. I think that it will still operate, still work. I just don't think that it's as secure, as good, but I do think it's going to work better than Ethereum will. So from all of that, what I'm basically saying is that we are near or at capacity now on basically all of your proof of work coins. And when this community quadruples, which is going to happen this year, that is my prediction, not a fact. The coins that are going to be rising to the top are the ones that can actually handle the load. And that to me means Steem, BitShares, EOS, and probably Cardano are gonna be left standing. And there might be other ones too. I'm not saying that all the other coins can't handle that, but so that's where my brain's at. I'm gathering my willpower to like kind of stop investing in any other coin out there because I think Steem is remarkably undervalued, practically more than any other coin. In part because like the other investors don't like the Ninja Mine, and they may not like Ned or Dan, and at the very beginning we had this hyperinflation and it tanked the price. So there's a lot of reasons why they don't like us. And that's in some ways good because it's artificially keeping the price low, and it's going to be like that until there's so many people in here that all the other coins break, and investors are left looking around being like, well, all the other ones can't scale, but Steem can. Let's invest in Steem. That's how I think this thing is going to play out. Is that guaranteed? No, I have no idea. I mean, I've been trading this stuff for only like 3 or 4 months, but that's where my brain is at. And so I'm gonna write a letter to basically my friends and family saying this is a year that Bitcoin goes through the roof. During that process, it's going to be scary as hell to be an investor because as it goes through the roof, it's also going to crash as part of a correction. And both of those events are going to be intense. The intense rise as we sort of level up. I'm saying Bitcoin finally reached level 1. We are now in the process of correcting. The corrections are agonizing and almost as deep as the rise. And then pretty soon, I think within the next 2 months or so, I think that we're really going to see a catapult in terms of just how big we're going to get. Now, I see people saying hodl, or maybe it's just the one. Holding is good, but if you're constantly watching the market and you really feel like we're at a high point, it's okay to sell. Because what you really want is to capture the ultimate high and then go sell off a bunch and then capture back at the correction. So, I don't know. Hopefully some of you, I know everybody says hodl. And I agree with that, especially if you're just set it and forget it. But if you have any capacity to sit here and watch tickers and watch how the market moves and things, I do think that it's so powerful what the ups and downs are. And I think that you can sort of tell, at some point you start looking at it and there's only 2 emotions you have to consider: greed and fear. So if you're feeling super, super greedy right at the top and you're like, I'm going to get even more, it's all coming, I'm going to get... No, that's the time to sell. When you're feeling that I'm going to get all this money, it's amazing, get rid of some coins, because that's the time when if you're feeling excessively greedy, and you're feeling a little elated about how well everything is doing, that's the time to get the fuck out. And similarly, when everybody else is selling and they're all panic selling and they're all freaking out like the world's about to end, that's the time to be buying. And it's emotionally challenging to do both of those things. It's also emotionally challenging to sit there without any cash on hand when the market's freaking correcting and you didn't have the discipline to sell at the top. So now you have to grind it out through the agonizingly slow, deep corrections. So, that's what I got. Okay. Guy just sold out 50K of BTC, bought at the high. That dude is nuts. He's doing it wrong. But I mean, that is a very fast way to go lose huge amounts of money in crypto, is to panic buy high and panic sell low. And this market will do it to you. I mean, I haven't been doing this long, but it is you need some intestinal fortitude to freaking hang with this. It is challenging. And it is challenging me nearly on the daily. I kind of think it's important to go have one or two cryptos that you don't care too much about, so that when you're feeling the urge to panic buy or panic sell, you just hit those and you're like, okay, I sold off $500 or I sold off $5,000, whatever your number is. I got rid of some, so I'm feeling better. Or I panic bought and I did something, so that you're responding, but it's in this one token that you're not super attached to, so that you can survive. Okay. So we talked a little bit about changes to Minnow support. We talked a little bit about some investment. So I'm writing this thing up in a post to go sort of, I'm going to give it to the entire audience of Steam, but I'm really writing it to my friends and family saying, look, over the next 2 months, I think the price is going to keep dropping, and we're going to get rid of all the weak hands. And then when that happens, people are going to be unwilling to sell because we would have gone through all of the sellers. And at that point, price is really going to skyrocket. And skyrocketing prices are also going to drag people in here. It's going to be this tsunami of people. When Bitcoin was hitting $20,000, there were exchanges that were reporting 100,000 people per day that were signing up for crypto. And I think that's gonna make some money, or I think that's gonna lead to higher priced. I think that's going to lead to higher priced everything, because it's going to drag so many people in here. And to me, everything is related to how many people are in this community. So that's what I got. That's what I wanted to sort of open the show with. Hopefully some of that conversation is helpful to you. So I also see David Pantone in the audience. I don't know if you guys have heard of Paul Pantone. Let me see if I can pull up, what's the website? Geet International, I think. Geet International. Geet International. So here, their website isn't the most gorgeous thing, if I'm being frank, but these are the guys. Paul Pantone is the guy that created an engine called Geet. Or he modified a typical engine, and he made it so that you can run on a gas-water mixture. And that sounds crazy to a lot of people. It sounds pretty crazy to me, although I have seen it with my own eyes running. So maybe I got scammed, but I don't think so. These seem like passionate people that really feel like they have a life-changing technology. They don't feel like a bunch of shitty scammers to me. So I invited them on to the radio, and I can't remember what time they're going to be on, but I can see David's in the audience now. And so we're going to have a good conversation around Geet. And there's like 5,000 of these engines that are out there. So I don't know. It's exciting for some of these Geet design posters. Keen to learn more. Yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible that I don't know, like the people can't. They're conditioned to look at this and say, "Oh, that's bullshit. There's no way it can work." Thermodynamics and what I learned in school, this thing can't work. But I think we're taught quite a bit of lies in our education. I think a lot of my PhD science is. Chemistry is actually not that bad, because chemistry is almost entirely experimental in terms of how it was derived. But like a lot of physics is, you look at patterns and you try to fit the math to it, rather than you look at experimental data and try to determine what's going on. So like they get models that work, but yeah, they got the models that work because they were like looking for models that work. It doesn't necessarily reflect what's happening at the science level. So I think these guys are on to something, in part because I've seen an engine work with the exhaust closed and running on 80% water. So your exhaust closed and gasoline will shut down your engine. And if you just went and poured water into a gasoline vehicle, that would shut that engine down. I saw the freaking engine running, and it was running for minutes at a time. And then we said, all right, well, that's what this thing does. So I didn't need it to run for like 50 million years. But yeah, this is like a Stanley Myers thing. But I also like these guys in particular because they open sourced the technology. So they said, look, if it's under a 20 horsepower engine, we're giving this thing away for free. And I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to do. I think that's a good human being thing to do. So it's been on my radar to go build one of these. In fact, I told Jeremy, if he's going to show up today, I told Jeremy that he should go build one for me, and he agreed to it. And then I didn't follow through because I had some financial concerns. But now I have some cash in the bank, so I got to go freaking get back to this. But yeah, I think this is worth it. And if I'm being completely honest to the audience that's here, what I would really love to do is basically run I'd love to run a Geet engine and basically turn an alternator with it to get electricity to go do mining with it, so that I could basically get free or very inexpensive power to go mine with, and that could be super profitable. So that's what I really want. I mean, I shouldn't give away that idea, but there's only like 20 of you in here or whatever. Um, so that's my super secret idea. So I'm at some point I'm going to go build this. At some point I'll go work with them to why not use solar. Solar's not bad, but again, like um, solar's not super efficient, and it's not like running an engine on basically water. Um, so I don't know what David's going to want to say about his tool, but we'll go talk about this thing, and you guys can go judge. I like, again, I get some witness rewards. I'm willing to go use witness rewards to see if I can't make this stuff work. So now I've started power downs. Now I pull out some money. Now I'll actually have some cash around, and I'm willing to go. I'm at least willing to go invest like $1,000 into this to go experience does it work. Although that probably also means doing $2,000 of electrical work in my house, which maybe Rondon can help me with. Okay, so those are the things that I know. I guess what I'm gonna do is maybe I take a break for a song and then invite people on. So I'll try this. If there's somebody that's dying to go on air right away, then just go hop into the waiting room and we'll go pull you on air, and we can start having conversations for a little bit. And if there's nobody that's like dying to go on air with me, then that's okay. I'll just pirate DJ until somebody wants to talk. So I'm not seeing anybody, jumping into MSP Waves waiting room to go hop on air. Oh, there's Lady Lauren. Lady Lauren not only shows up today for the first time, she's ready to go on air. All right, well, I'll go talk to Lady Lauren. I'm gonna let Rondon sort of check her vocals first. She's been here before. Has she been in my show? Shane? What do I know? Yeah, I don't think she might have been in here before, like, but I'm me-centric. So, you should try to prove this Geet engine wrong. I saw it working, man. So, like, look, $1,000 is something that I'm willing to invest. I mean, if it works, then it should be amazing. Anyways, Rondon's telling me that Miss Lady Lauren is ready to go. So I'm gonna go pull Lady Lauren up, and hopefully we have ourselves a good conversation. So, Lady Lauren, are you there?
Hi, yes.
Do you want to be Lady Lauren, Mrs. Lauren? How should I refer to you?
Preferably Lady Lauren, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
So, welcome to the Minnow Mayor Town Hall. I'm not sure that I've seen you in the audience before, but if you have, I'm sorry. If this is your first trip here, then thank you for joining us.
No, yeah, so this is my first time on your show and actually talking to you, so it's a pleasure being here.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to meet you. Sometimes I know what these interviews are going to be, and other times I have no idea. This is one of the times that I have no idea. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to promote? Do you have a project, or do you just want to introduce yourself to this audience? What's on your mind for today?
Well, that makes two of us. I have no clue. I just kind of popped in because no one else was. But I guess I can introduce myself. My name is Lauren, and I am a university college student. I unfortunately am not as active on Steemit now as I used to be, just because of the workload that I've been getting. But I'm a big fan of the Minnow support project, and I've been on a couple shows, but nothing too much.
So I have an idea for you. Have you considered taking notes in your classes and just putting your class notes onto Steam?
That would be an interesting idea. I haven't thought about that, but I did get the suggestion to post my homework assignments on Steam, and I actually actually just recently did that. My post yesterday, I had a reading assignment for one of my classes, and I thought the reading was very interesting, and we had to just write a response to it. And I thought maybe the community on Steam would also enjoy reading it, so I posted the original couple chapters of the book, and then also my response and just a few discussion questions. Did you want me to link the post to you?
You're welcome to. Yeah, normally post linking is not encouraged in the Minnow Support Project. But if you're live on air and you're talking about this stuff, then that would be one exception where I would say, yes, the person live on air should feel free to post what they're talking about. But if we see a whole bunch of random things that come into the audience room, then me or the mods will delete them. So you are welcome to. I would not encourage everybody else to unless they come on air to talk about it.
Fair enough. No, I didn't really come on air to promote myself necessarily. I just kind of wanted to hop in and say hi. So
it's actually okay to do. I mean, part of this is that there's a lot of minnows in here, and you got to get known as a minnow, and there's no way to like do that without basically sitting around and either typing hi to people or saying hi to people. And this is actually a nice way to go reach. I don't know how many live people we're going to have in the show today, but 20, 30, 40, somewhere in there, and then probably another good section will listen to this or check it out.
Well, thank you.
Now, did you actually post parts of the book, like the text of the book?
Yes, I uploaded my personal copy of the first 2 chapters of the book, and I also cited it. I'm not sure if that's frowned upon or not, but because I marked it up, I didn't think that it would be that big of a deal.
I actually don't know. I don't know what other people think about that. Any of the plagiarism Nazis or like I don't know, copy pasta Nazis want to like share their thoughts on if that's cool or not?
Yeah, I would love to know. Great response.
Yeah, thanks, Clay. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna flag for it. I mean, it's sort of borderline to me because that is somebody else's copyrighted work, and so maybe that's a no bueno. But at the same time, you're adding a lot of value to that by providing your own thoughts. I don't know. Anyways, at least the notes that you would provide would certainly be a welcome addition. I mean, like a lot of people don't have the opportunity to go to college or go to a university. And so if STEAM, basically where we get some A students to go post all their notes from classes that they took, we might actually be able to provide some level of educational services on here that make the students money and that are taking the courses and otherwise provide reference material for anybody reading.
Yeah, no, that's a very great point, and I would love to be the guinea pig for that. It just most of my notes I do take I like handwrite out because I find actually physically handwriting them out I retain the information a lot more. So if I find the time and if I find the information that I learn valuable to share, then I definitely would be willing to type it up.
Well, I mean, you might not find it very valuable to share right away, but that's one of the ways that you can build an audience. I mean, if somebody else cares about, classic literature or something, then that's going to help you quite a bit.
That's very true. But back to your previous point, though, I wouldn't be able to share any of the written work because of the plagiarism that might. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just ever since you mentioned the fact that it's like on edge of plagiarism, then I uploaded my personal copy of the first 2 chapters of that book. Now I'm a bit worried that I'm going to get in trouble for that.
Well, you're not. I doubt you're going to get in trouble because I do think that you're sitting in a gray zone where, like, if you're citing it and you're telling people this is what I got, this is what I'm using, like, and you're not saying I wrote this. I mean, a lot of the people that do plagiarism will just like flat out say, 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and then be like by aggroed. Like they're being total shits about it. You're at least being honest, transparent, and citing your sources. So I think it's a little bit of the gray zone. I would urge caution on it. So that you, in part because you're earning money, and earning money, it makes it a little bit different compared to, like, if you were just sharing on Facebook, here's the chapters and here are my notes. That's not such a big deal. But if you're sharing chapters and you're sharing your notes and you're making money for it, that's where I think you'll get into some trouble. So, yeah, and so Osbit Bank is saying, he voted a small amount because it's cited. So yeah, you're citing it. I mean, I wouldn't toss you under I wouldn't toss you under a bus for this. I just think your next one, instead of copying the whole chapters, maybe just cite 1 or 2 paragraphs and give a page notice or something. If it's highly academic, people aren't going to give a shit that you're like quoting multiple sections. That's like writing a good paper. But if you're just taking, 20 pages of the book and slapping it into Steam, that's probably no bueno, even if it has your notes.
Yeah, no, that's a very valid point.
But you're also a minnow, so you get to learn this stuff. Like this
Exactly.
isn't. I'm not getting pitchforks out here. I'm just trying to have a healthy conversation with you in the audience and encouraging you to take your college stuff and put it on here, because I think that actually brings a crap ton of value to the platform. And hopefully, what happens is that you make some money on your notes, and you can go tell all your college buddies, hey, dudes and dudettes or ladies, come here. See, all I'm doing is taking my notes in class the normal way, and then when I archive my notes, I put them on Steam, and now I'm making $10-$20 in rewards. But if you notice, I'm getting 4 to 8 SBDs. Those 4 to 8 SBDs are worth $28 to $50 every single time I take a class. I'm actually paying for my university by just taking notes and then copying them over later. So like the work is really taking the notes in the first place. Just copying your notes on Steam shouldn't be more than like a 10-minute exercise, of which you get paid $50 for 10 minutes of work.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's actually like applications where you do get paid to share your notes, and the fact that I would be sharing my notes on Steemit and getting paid for it is just like a double whammy,
Yeah, do it.
Why wouldn't I? Yeah, no. You are convincing me quite well right now.
Oh, that's good. I try to be a digital pimp for the Steam blockchain. This thing is pretty amazing. I really like it. We're gonna moon like crazy. And just don't sell stuff if you can help it. Try to keep it, because about a year from now, it's going to be worth at least 10x. That's my prediction. Do whatever you want with that, but I just think that we're gonna. I literally think it's a growth spurt, just like my kids grow, and it's like an inch taller overnight. You don't have linear growth. That's not how the universe works. The universe works by raising quantum levels. It's kind of like watching D&D characters level. You get all this experience, nothing really matters, and then you hit a certain point, and then you level up and you get all these new skills and hit points and other stuff. You gotta hit those levels. Neoxy, and I said $50 Steam by the end of the year, but I'm starting to feel like that's conservative. And you missed the beginning of the show where I talk about it, but ultimately there's going to be so many people here that all the other chains are going to break. And when all those other chains break, the only one left standing that can handle the capacity is going to be Steam, and we're going to be a top 5 coin. That's my guess. I think we're a top 5 coin by the end of the year.
And I didn't even realize until you linked the Blocktivity website that we had like the most activity. That is very exciting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, we're
that active.
That's the social media side of this, right? Like, for Ethereum, every single one of those is a financial transaction. For us, that includes votes, that includes comments, that includes every kind of note or whatever, a memo, a transaction, a change from SBD to Steam. All of that stuff gets logged. So you're just seeing, but again, even with all of that stuff happening with over 50,000 active people per day, yes, not only are we number one, but it's a major difference that we are number one and under 1% compared to like Bitcoin, that's near the top of the list, but well over 100% capacity just now. So this is one of the things that I'm going to put in my post, and I'm going to share this thing later. But this is showing, it's a chart that's showing how stuff grows And this is based off of Metcalfe's law. And Metcalfe's law is basically like, this is how Facebook grew. This is how the telephone grew. This is how fax machines grew. It's just a law that says the value is going to be worth it's proportional to the square of the number of connected users. And what we're already seeing because of these high prices is that more and more people want to come on. So as more people come on, the value of the whole thing goes up. And as the value goes up, more people come on. So you get this like massive cycle where everything is pumping higher and higher and higher. And if you're not a math person, look at the axis on the right. It goes 0.01, 0.11, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. It's not going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going up 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. It's going up by 10x. And it's basically doing that every single year. And so this year I'm expecting we are going to 10x in value like we have in a lot of other years. And there's a little logarithmic nonlinear regression number that R squared of 0.9886. That means that overall we are correlating to this line at about 99%. So it's basically telling you that, yeah, it's not following it perfectly, but it's pretty freaking close when you average it out. This is the trend line for Bitcoin that we're following Metcalfe's law pretty well. We're going to 10x again this year. And when we 10x, I don't know, it's going to be really freaking powerful.
It's so exciting just to hear you say that and just to think about, because I feel like if any platform deserves that more, it's Steemit. Honestly, we have one of the most amazing communities that I have seen on the internet. It's just incredible, and I cannot wait for us to get the recognition that we deserve, you know?
Yeah, I think two things are responsible for that: flagging and reputation. Those are the two things that incentivize people to not be assholes to one another.
Exactly. It's just a really ingenious algorithm that Dan's created.
Well, and Dan started this, and he has a real peace mentality. And so I know that there's like flagging and stuff on Steam, and I do think some of that is financial violence, but I think he was building something that leads towards peace. And I think he had that in mind. And I think that's part of why it's so successful at teaching peace. So,
I really do think that it's wonderful that it has just such a positive connotation to it, because I feel like, unfortunately, with Bitcoin in this past decade, it's had quite a negative connotation to it. And the fact that we're starting to change how people perceive cryptos is also quite exciting.
Yeah, I mean, my vision for this, the meme I keep using, and so maybe I feel bad that I keep using it, but I just think it's so true. It's a Neo in the Matrix movie where Morpheus is talking to him, and Neo says, "What do you mean? That one day I can dodge bullets?" And Morpheus is like, "No, one day you won't have to." And so my response is something like, "What do you mean? I can convert cryptocurrencies into fiat?" And my answer is no. One day you won't have to.
I love that. Oh my goodness. I would love to see that meme. That sounds amazing.
Somewhere on my wall. I mean, it's not an amazing work of art. I got to be honest, because that's not my gift to the world. My gift to the world is not fantastic art projects. Here, I found it. This is on the Steam gift card post that I made, but that's one of the versions of this that I've made. Hey, where the shit did it go? There it is. You mean to tell me I can convert crypto to fiat? No, I'm saying one day you won't have to. So I think, what do I mean by this? I mean that in the not too distant future, I'm going to pay my mortgage off with crypto. I'm not going to convert to fiat first. I'm just going to go freaking pay crypto and buy my house. And some of that, I put out this really snarky post of thank you to the Federal Reserve for making the shittiest coin ever. I mean, part of what's driving so many people here is just how shitty the US dollar is. Like, we've lost 99% of the value of it. They keep printing more and more of it. It's not backed by anything. Like, it's just really shitty coin. It's not transparent, and the people claim to be above the law. And it's super centralized. There's, like, nothing good about it. So because all these government currencies are so bad, it's driving everybody to crypto. And to get this back to you, when because of that delta, there's a lot of people that are moving to cryptos, which will increase the value of your crypto, which means that the notes that you post now from your university experience are going to not only earn you money today, but increase in value over time.
Yeah, it's quite exciting. That's also one of the main reasons why I still haven't taken any Steam out of my account, because I have faith. No matter how long or how little time it's going to take, I have faith since the day that I learned about this website. It's unlike anything else that's ever been invented, and because the reading that I just did for one of my classes is so fresh in my mind, I can't help but think back to it, and like a lot of the technology that this guy was talking about back in 1992 in his book has like already been presented because of blockchain, and it's insane to think about.
Yeah, I read a lot of future novels, and there wasn't a lot of future novels that could predict something like this. And since then, like, I've dabbled in writing a little bit of like bitpunk or CryptoPunk, but I'm interested, like, it just gives me different thoughts of what this whole future is.
I just feel very fortunate to like be at the start of it. I mean, I wasn't obviously like, I didn't join back in 2016 when it like first opened, but I feel like, it's still so widely unknown, and we have so much more room for growth, and that fact is also very exciting.
How long have you been on Steam?
Since June of 2017.
All right. I mean, that's something.
Yeah.
What is your so I'm let's see. Let me share another thing that's on my brain and tell me what you think about this. So I've done a fair number of like these witness panel forums, and I'm starting to think I want to branch out into other forums. So I talked to Azaria last night, who is a musician and one of the moderators in here, and I said, look, I want to do a Steam Musicians Forum. And then I had another idea of I want to do a Steam Musicians Forum. I want to do an artist forum. And then the last forum that I've been thinking of adding is sort of like a Women of Steam forum. A lot of the stuff that I'm doing, especially because nearly all of the witnesses are men, it's basically like a big sausage party at the Steam Witness Forum. So I was thinking I need to personally highlight some of the women that are on here. Some names that come to mind are Stella Bell, who's the first person that I followed here, Surfer Marley. I was thinking Kaylin Art. I don't know. Is that patriarchal of me? Is that supportive of me? Does that sound like a neat idea? What do you think of that?
Sounds like a wonderful idea, and I am 100% for it. I think it's very important for the women to get the recognition that they deserve, because I feel like there's lots of us that don't get that recognition, especially because of how we feel. I'm not sure if you live in the U.S. or not, but
I'm in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay, awesome. Especially because like all of the politics that have been going on this year for females in the USA, like the huge Me Too campaign, and the fact that like I'm pretty sure it was Time magazine who did like the most influential person of the year was what was it? Do you know? It was like the females of hold on, let me look this up.
I mean, that's a little bit of dead air right there. I just got to go fill that. Maybe I'll
I'm
sing.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Do. All right. So it
I
seems
should see
like,
if that.
hold on, it seems like a lot of the ladies in the audience are very pro, hey, aggro, go run a Women of Steam. Are there any men that are in here that are seriously triggered if I run a Women of Steam symposium or forum? I was also thinking Crimson Clad should be on there because she's basic. I think she's the highest ranking female witness, and I know she co-runs it with Follow, who's a dude. Um, what else? And then maybe Patrice. Patrice is the highest ranking female. Um, we should highlight the Steam men. You know, Neoxy and I agree to that to some extent, but I feel like I'm doing that when I run my witness forums. Those are just a bunch of dudes. Which, you know, it is what it is. But I don't know. Basically, all the people that I've had so far in my forums have been men, and I feel like I am not reaching a decent gender balance. You're right. There's nothing that prevents women from getting involved. There is truth to that. So I don't know. I kind of feel like, you know, I think I'm going to trigger a handful of people. I'm definitely gonna trigger some libertarians that are like, you are helping a protected class. Why would you support just women only? That's a bad thing. I guess I'd say, like, look, if you don't want to support women, that's your choice. You can do whatever you like. It's your stake. Run your life however you want. This is just me taking the freedom of my position to do as I please. And for today, I'd like to go highlight some ladies. So that's my rough team. Maybe Canadian Coconut too, because she helped found this place. She's got a lot of steam power and actively runs with it. Yeah, we could do a furry symposium because everybody knows that I have I don't have like a furry fetish, but I have like a fetish for people that are into furries. Like it's just this amazing concept to me. It's not like, oh, I really want to go do this myself, but just that whole idea. Furries. Don't get me started, lady.
Oh goodness.
Did you find what you were looking for?
I did, and I dropped a picture in chat. I'm not sure if anyone saw it, but yeah, the person of the year was the Silence Breakers. So pretty much everyone, all the females who came out this year, and came out and broke the silence. And I just think that, especially this past year with the politics, females should feel empowered, I guess. But then again, I am also all for a forum that includes, like, it doesn't have to just be females, you know? I mean, I feel like that's important, yes, but then also, like, why couldn't there just be one with everyone, you know?
Well, it's, you know, you can't do, I can tell you why, is that in 2 hours, you know, having more than 6 or 7 people on a panel doesn't work. So I just want to have a rotating panel, and, you know, I'll keep doing my Steam witness forums. I thought about doing a Steam backup witness forum, because I wanted to go do a traders forum, but I don't think I'm going to be able to pull it together. So I kind of need to go pull something together by Saturday. So I was thinking either Women of Steam, although they like to be organized, maybe backup witness, because they'll do anything to get promotion. So maybe they'll come on short notice. But I'm thinking I'm going to go put something together. All right. So what else? I just wanted to run that by you. It seems like I'm not triggering too many men, although there's a cranky one or two.
There always will be, though.
Yeah, and Team Steam is telling me go for it. So, I don't know. If Team Steam says yes, it can't be wrong. What else you want to share? Anything else? I want to make sure that I can get to other people, but this has been fun. What else is on your mind?
If you want to talk to someone else, then...
Well, I mean, I'm not kicking you off. I'm just saying you need to have like a message or a thought or a promotion or a question or something conversational. Like I don't know yet, so it's not like I'm going to push for things or whatever. Just what would you like to do next?
That's true. I know we've already passed this topic, but if by any chance you do come across a few university students and you want to have a panel of university students, that also could be
Yeah. No, I mean, do you mind sharing what school you go to?
Yeah, no, I go to the University of Colorado at Boulder. So I'm in
UC Boulder's a
Colorado.
good school.
It is. I'm very happy here, and I'm majoring in information science, which is wonderful. I'm
Oh,
very
you're a
happy.
geek. That's even better.
Yes, I am a complete nerd, which I'm very proud of.
Well,
Very
one of
proud of.
these days you're going to have to go make a witness server, just like everybody else now that Steam's up at $5.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely could, but I don't know. I also have lots of hobbies that take up a lot of my time when I'm not busy doing schoolwork and working.
All right.
I do too much with my time, but I mean, I definitely should be more active on Steam, and the fact that I could be a witness would be a very exciting thought. Um, but who knows?
I mean, look, if I'm not the most technically savvy person, but I can run a witness. Um, so if other people can run a witness, like if I can do it and I don't have I'm literally like, if I'm being completely honest, and I've shared this on the block too, the way that I remember how to be a witness, or like I'm able to figure out commands and codes, is that I remember being 8, sitting on my dad's lap, and we were writing in BASIC, and we were building a little game in BASIC about what the world needs. And I was like, it needs teachers, and it needs karate instructors, and it needs pets. And we were building model worlds using BASIC. And that experience is actually enough to make it so that I have enough tech background to go run this. I've never taken a computer science course, but just that small amount of experience I had when I was 8 with my dad was enough to go get me some of these skills. And then I can go, I needed some help when I get started. And sometimes when I'm like rebooting things, I need help from better programmers, but that's my level of expertise. There's certainly devs that are like freaking amazing, that can build anything and do anything, and they get promoted usually more frequently than the community folk, because this whole thing is like all the whales, or a lot of the whales, are devs, and so they're very heavy in terms of like dev is super important. But the one thing about the devs is that a lot of them, I'm going to piss off some devs, maybe even some of the whales that support me, but a lot of them are like borderline autistic. And so they're not always the most social people. And so I think they appreciate having somebody that's on Steam, that's a witness, that is there to kind of function in a social way.
I mean, yeah, no, I first of all, I love the story about your dad. That's wonderful. And I mean, it's so true though, that like, you do not need a university level course to develop a program. I mean, there's so much information online now that you can literally teach yourself anything. And I actually, I took some time off of school because I was so pro teach yourself. But I found that having like deadlines and having due dates kind of pushed me to acquire more knowledge and more information because I had to. So I definitely think that it's wonderful that the fact that you know everything you do now about coding because you and your dad made that program when you were young. I mean, it just goes to show that you don't need a university level course to make a program
or to run somebody else's program. I mean,
exactly.
I mean, I could, with some help, I'm sure I could go write Pong or something, or just follow along on some lessons that are already out there. But I don't know. So yeah, I'm down with the university group. If you, so I like, I'm not connected to a whole bunch of university people. So if you want to go get together, a group, however you want to define it, maybe it's just peers, maybe it's other computer science people, maybe it's other, I could grab some young people. Actually, I did have sort of like an idea for a young people forum, in part because there's a guy by the name of Hughes Nursery, who is he's out of Wales, and he's doing gardening, and he's got 70,000 YouTube subscribers, and he's like 18. So
cool.
I was thinking that he might be a good fit. So I was actually thinking about like a youth forum, which would be like college age forum, not like 10-year-olds or something. But,
right.
No,
but
to me,
cool
they're
too.
youth because I'm old.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would just be a different perspective on things because we don't have as much wisdom as most.
Yeah, no doubt. Y'all are crazy. All right. Yeah. Well, this was a productive conversation. I'm gonna put it to an end so that I can go invite some other people onto the show and make sure everybody gets some time. But
yeah, well, thank you for having me on for as long as you did. I appreciate it.
You know, it's good to meet new people, and that's what this show is supposed to do. It's supposed to help introduce people. It's supposed to find and support good projects. Maybe even if people want to read some poetry or posts or something, I'm okay with performances live on air. You know, in some ways I'm inspired by Kermit the Frog and the Muppet Show, you know, just like whatever this thing is, it is. And, I'll roll with that. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Wonderful. No, I mean, and you take risks when you just bring randos on. You have no idea what to expect. So,
well, but you know, sometimes it like that can be good. You know, like it keeps me sharp, and you know, everybody deserves a chance. It doesn't matter if I know them or not. You know, like I'm willing to go listen to you, and if you want to go start the conversation with some hate speech or insults, then that will probably be a short conversation. But you know, I'm willing to go welcome everybody here.
Well, it definitely helps that you're a good conversationalist. That's for sure.
Oh, well, thanks.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for having me on, and I will let Sunravel Me take my spot, but I hope you have a wonderful afternoon.
Sounds good. Well, go find some college kids and get a group, and hopefully you feel like it's fairly representative of people at the university. Maybe they're not all nerds, maybe they're not all one gender, maybe they're not all one major, but they are all young people that you know, this platform has to attract them, and it has to be cool to them, and it has to be we have to appeal to young people. So let's go talk about that and see what the young people want.
Most definitely. I will do some scouting, and I'll let you know.
Alrighty. So, good times, good fun, and thanks for coming on the show, Miss Lady Lauren.
No worries. Bye. Thanks again.
All right, that was it says Mrs. Lauren, MRSLAUREN. You can find her on Steemit, and she is on she was just joining us here at the Minnow Town Hall. Next up, we're going to have Sunravel Me. Sunravel Me is a lovely poet. She recently won the Make a Minnow prize from the Minnow support community. It's the highest honor and biggest prize that we give to minnows. And I'm assuming she might want to be talking about that. I don't actually know, but that's just my guess that she's going to promote that. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. But anyway, she's a fantastic lady. I'm stoked to have her on the show. And all right, let's do this. Sunravel Me, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, it's going great. It is lovely to have you back on the show.
Be here. I got voluntold.
All right, good times. Now I'm going to put you on the spot as a lady to go ask you again, like I just asked Miss Lauren. What do you think about the idea of having a Women of STEAM forum? Is that a good idea? Is that patriarchal, or is that good fun promotion?
Yeah, honestly, I know some of the guys feel a little triggered by it occasionally, but before, like, Steemit is kind of a guys' club sometimes, and sometimes women feel the need to have a particular place where they can discuss things. He says the guys aren't triggered. Most of them aren't. It's okay. It'll be all right.
Well, thank you for answering that question. So you got a little bit pushed to be on here. Do you have an agenda for this evening, or do you have a plan for what we're talking about?
Necessarily. I love talking about Make a Minnow. I just wrote a post actually about the people of the Minnow Support Project. It was kind of a major undertaking. I went through the list of everyone who was delegating and picked the people who I've seen in chat and who I've heard around. Asked a bunch of the mods and a couple of people who are pretty high ranking on the Minnow Support Project to write a blurb for their favorite people.
And what came out of that? What should I take away from this? What should I know? What should I hear?
Ultimately, one of the big problems, I think, or one of the big things that keeps people from getting involved is they don't know who to nominate or who to recommend for Make a Minnow, because it's not easy to access the list of people who are delegating. Basically, it takes that out of the equation and makes it easy for them, and they can just be like, oh, these are people who are regularly on MSP, and these are people who are delegating who are eligible for this. So trying to make the system a little bit easier to navigate.
No, all right. You got me nerd sniped here. I think I can go into playing with bots, and I think I can go put in a question mark, and I can do delegation, and I can do Minnow support. And, oh, that's the list of people that will delegate to them. So let me try another one. I'm going to go to steamreports.com, steamreports.com. And then in the top left, on the left side, it's delegation, then detailed delegation. So let me put this into to chat here. So I'm going here, and then I'm typing in Minnow support. I don't know if that's going to change the URL. Yep, it did. So I'm doing this, and then it was kind enough to spit back this. It's actually so much that it probably won't let me type it. Oh, it's triggered now. Yeah, it's over 2,000 characters. I can't even do it that way. Let me just get some of the top delegators for this thing then. Sorry, this is taking a moment, but I can go do this, and I can put that in there, and that should work. Boom. So, that's not all of them, but that's some of the largest ones. And, I don't know. That's kind of a neat tool to go figure out who's contributing to this place.
What are vesting shares?
Oh, yeah. So, Steam Power didn't used to exist. It only used to be vesting. And vesting shares were more complicated, and nobody had any idea what the hell those meant. So they changed the name from vesting shares to Steam Power. They also changed slightly how they were calculating it. So basically, Team Steam, so every 2,000, every Ospit Bank is delegating 15,000 Steam Power. So if you take the vesting shares, divide it by 2, and then multiply it by 1,000, that's how many Steam Power they're delegating. So basically it's another way to write Steam Power, but it's like a different unit for it.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
That was a lot of numbers for an English teacher, but
All right.
yeah.
Well, no, it's not that bad. Divide by 2 and times 1,000. So we can go do a couple examples. So Ospit Bank has 30. So divide by 2, and that is 30 divided by 2. I'm asking.
15.
It's 15.
15.
And then multiply by 1,000, and it's... What's 15 times 1,000?
I like how everybody in chat is helping me out.
All right. Well, that's 15,000. All right, let's go look at V for Vapid. He's got 10. So divide that by 2. What's 10 divided by 2?
Hear me?
I can't hear you.
Okay. Okay, I think I was breaking up. It's 5.
Yeah, and now multiply that by 1,000.
Is it math?
So you multiply it by
5,000.
Yeah, so that's 5,000. So vesting shares is just a different unit for steam power, basically. And a lot of the program is still using vesting shares rather than steam power but really only in the back end. Nobody sees it on the front end. There's vesting shares isn't written anywhere into steemit.com. But if you go to steamdb.witnesses and you want to go track, how are the different witnesses doing, and who's getting upvotes, and why are people ranked or whatever. It's not actually tallied up in terms of how much steam power they have. It's tallied up based off of the number of vests that are voting for them. So on the back end in a bunch of places, it's still using vests, even though probably 80 or 85% of the people don't even know that there's vests built into the system.
Yeah, I've seen it around once in a while, but I just kind of skimmed over. Just figured it was a number that I didn't understand.
Yeah, well, that's okay. All right, so I think I helped solve your problem a little bit. Maybe it's not perfect, but now here's a website that can tell you who's delegating. It'll tell you how much is delegating in vests, and now divide by 2 and times 1,000, and you'll get there.
And the great thing about Minnow support, or the Make a Minnow project, is that you don't have to delegate a lot. You could delegate just 1 SP, and you still qualify. An investment in the Minnow support project and in the community as a whole, in order to participate. I don't think it's asking very much.
Now I did this personally. I was very proud of this. In the comments, so it always leads a comment. And if I dive into this comment, it's going to tell me, I am still signed in, where I can edit this comment. So let me go copy this. Hopefully it'll let me paste this. That's the actual code that is in the comment left by the upvote bot. And what you'll notice that there's all those all those links that are built into this thing. Each one of those links is actually a way that you can delegate a certain number of vests or a certain number of steam power. So the first one is
Steam Connect.
Yeah, it's using Steam Connect. So this is just like a super fast way that you can delegate to this stuff. So the first link is for 50, the second is for 100, the third is for 250, the fourth is for 500, then 1,000 and 5,000. So, if you're like a minnow, don't go nuts. I mean, mostly what we're doing is we're finding whales that have an interest in helping people. Yeah, Vessel's a lifesaver. I should go Aaron Cox Vessel releases. So here's Vessel. If you're not using Vessel, whoa, shit. Don't want that. Control copy. Control V. So if you're not using Vessel, you really ought to. This was made by Jesta. And this thing has a way that I can dive into it. I have it open on my computer, so let me take a snapshot of this. Vesting accounts. Where's my delegation? Vesting. No, advanced settings, accounts. Oh, SP delegation. So I can actually, let me do add account. Nope, not that button. SP delegation. I need to, here's my plus button. So here I can go, let's go do this at, we'll call it Hospit Bank for now. So I can take a snapshot of this and I can put that into MS Paint and then I can crop it. But this is Vessel. And so Neoxian was saying, here's a nice tool for being able to go delegate. There's a nice little slide bar, a nice little tool built right into Vessel, which is a wallet, like a desktop wallet for Steam, that allows you to delegate Steam Power built right in it. So you don't even need Steam Connect to do it. This is actually quite handy and quite easy. So if you have more than one, account, or if you want to delegate, or you want to like do it from your desktop rather than the website, this is a very handy program for you to have.
That's cool that it has the delegation built in. What are the other benefits of using Vessel versus using your wallet on Steemit?
So the main reason why I use this thing is because of this. I manage a lot of accounts, and each one of these accounts has a different purpose. So I can crop to that. So Neoxian is right that there's more security that's built into this thing. You don't have to re-enter the code when sending to an exchange or anything else. But like the real reason I really like using this is that I don't want to log into like 30 different places. You know, I'm running Aggroed. I built my friend an account, Face Smash. I run Love Juice. I run Minnow Support. I have a bunch of these like separate MSP accounts. I do have a Skanky J account. I just did that as a placeholder so that nobody would try to run around and say that they're Skanky J. There are certain people that will make scammer accounts like that. I don't even want to mention their names. But so hopefully what I can tell you is you can combine two things. You could go get the list of delegators off of Steam reports and make it easy for people to see who's delegating. You might want to add your own line in like an Excel table kind of thing where you're converting on behalf of people into Steam Power for them. So that's an option. But then you can also say, here's Vessel. So if you're looking to be a delegator, here's a simple way to do it. Or here's some links where I put those up there too, where you can click a button, connect with Steam Connect, and suddenly you can delegate. So,
and that's the hard part too about delegation, is that for a lot of people, downloading a different application or having to go to a different website, it's not as simple as even sending money on your wallet or things like that.
Yeah.
Especially for really new people. I know I had to be walked through the first time I delegated, just because I was like, say what now? Like, what's going on? But after the first time doing it, it got way easier. Heruko or something like that at last.
Yeah. So there's the Heruko one too. But like our little app for Heruko just points you to Steam Connect. It just helps you build the code for it. Because people don't know it on their own. Right.
Well, and I mean, you were talking about developers and how important they are to on Steemit. For a lot of people, all of that is way over their head, including me. So, the more complicated we can make things, the more people can get involved.
Yeah. No, I mean that it's. Go make some tools. I mean, if you and some of your buddies make some Steam tools, I'll be the first person that'll go spread it. And I got 12,000 followers, and I work closely with Team Steam and with OSBitBank. And if you're making a neat program and it's coming out of the Minnow Support project, then I bet I could get those guys to re-Steam it too, and we could hit something like 30,000 accounts. And then if you add in Minnow Support, it's now roughly 40,000 accounts. So if you'd like to get a name out there and do something awesome, then go make a tool for Steam, and we'll send it out there.
How do we get it added to Steam, though?
Well, I don't know if it gets... I don't know.
Website.
The Steemit... Let's see. There's a Steemit Tools, or a Steam Tools website. And when I say Steam Tools, I'm not just talking about Rondon. Boom! Boom! All right, let me go... Steemit App Center. So that's on the top right. That's this thing. So here's your Steam App Center. And it lists all of these. And then somewhere down at the bottom of this thing is a It's not affiliated with Steemit, but if you want to make this, you can. Maybe it's at the top, add a tool or something. Created by Roland P. Maintained by Transisto. I didn't actually know that. But there you go, steamtools@gmail.com. So if you wanted to get that up there, that's who you email.
Yeah, and there's also Cubby actually during her Minnow University show, a Chrome add-on that adds some really good information to the Steemit website itself.
Hold on a second.
That I really liked.
Cubby, Shane was telling me about a Chrome extension that does beneficiaries. Do you know what that one is? Does anybody here know which Chrome extension will do beneficiaries? I'm super interested in that. If something like that exists, then I'm gonna go a little apeshit for it. The updated one, maybe. Let me find out. All right, Cubby's on the case. All right.
Beneficiaries.
What else you got?
One last question. What are beneficiaries?
What are beneficiaries? Oh, Steam Plus, maybe. Is this ideal for Steam Fest? That's pretty amazing. All right, I got to go look into this thing. At Steam Plus. If maybe that really is Studkey. If Studkey does this, then he seems like a pretty good programmer. But that's exciting. Yeah, so Neoxian was putting that in before I could go get the words out. It's a way to go share post rewards. So we run MSP Steam.
Yes.
The MSP Steam is a clone of Steemit.com, but it has an additional feature. Two, actually. One, it's run by us. So if Steemit.com is going down for whatever reason, maybe there's another DDoS attack, then you can still run MSP Steam and it should work fine. But the second thing is that it has a 5% beneficiary. So what that means is that when I use MSP Steam a fair amount, not on every post, but on a lot of them, 5% of my post rewards will go back to @Minnow support. So I'm not quite tithing, but I do give a fair amount of money back to Minnow support, both for SBDs and for Steam Power. Not every time I post, but a lot of them.
Yeah, Occupy Wallets asked if MSP Steam was competition to Steemit. It's a mirror.
Well, actually, so NetUoso runs this thing, and NetUoso has actually built a bunch of test features into this, and then they have taken test features out of MSP Steam and then uploaded it to Steemit.com. So at the moment, I don't think it's competition. At some point, we're going to get SMTs, and then we might be incentivized to make our own community and really try to grow out that MSP Steam page, or MSPsteam.com. I've been thinking that we need like a Minnow trending page. I think that could be really cool, so that we look at which posts are being written by Minnows that are making the most money at any given time. And then the other thought that I had is we have a bunch of curators. There's, I think, 7 or 8 different curators that are part of the Minnow Support Project team that's headed up by Azaria. And I'm interested in making it so that all of the posts that they're curating actually get into like an editor's picks, so that people can see what we are manually curating and hopefully send that some additional love. So those are the 2 ideas that I'd like to add to MSP Steam.
Yeah, that would be really cool. And even just, I know a lot of people talk about this, but even just a toggle so that you only see what people wrote on their blog and not the resteams would be super helpful.
Yeah. I mean, that's a super frequently requested change.
The mirror sites offer that.
They don't currently know, but there's nothing to say that they can't.
That's probably so. I curate poetry for MSP actually, and for Muxibot, and now for Isle of Wight.
What's Isle of Wight? Is that the spinoff from Writer's Block?
Right.
Okay.
And they're actually working on a curation that will end in writing a published anthology. So all of the poems that get curated will get turned into a book.
Who's the leader over there, or who founded the Discord group?
I was one of them, and then Just Jess and Geek.
Okay.
In a realized we don't really consider like anyone a leader necessarily. There's just a lot of us.
All right. Do you want to go pitch that group? I mean, I only heard about it secondhand. I haven't actually been in the server. I don't even know who's part of it. I just heard that Writer's Block split, and I didn't even know the name of the other group until you just said it. But if you're one of the founders, do you want to go talk about it?
Isle of Wight. So basically, our idea was that it would be a little more relaxed and not as geared toward professionalism. So we've got free writing. We've got workshop channels where everybody workshops everybody else. Nobody's technically an editor necessarily. And they're doing the big projects that's going on right now is the anthologies that are going to be published. So that's really exciting. They're going to do one for different genres of fiction writing and short stories for that, and then one for poetry. We're looking for about 40 to 50 poems to be published, and basically anyone who gets chosen will receive 5 SBD, and then if they choose to workshop or edit their work, be published in a book, and they'll receive a free copy of the book.
Okay, so I want to submit a poem. I don't actually make a whole lot of poems, but I was particularly proud of this one. Can I read it? Is that okay with you?
Go for it.
So
Absolutely.
this is when I first started witnessing, and I put down a poem, and this is called "Ode to the Block," a blockchain heartbeat. 1, 2, 3 block. 1, 2, 3 block. It's like an inhale of the lungs or the beating of your heart. 1, 2, 3 block. 1, 2, 3 block. It's 20 BPM. Start clock, watch it grow. 1,400 new blocks in the chain. Today, they say so. Nice post, Minnow. Follow for follow. Comments, replies. That follow is hollow. Block. At Acidio caught 10 more votes. Homesteader posted 10 more goats. Someone replied to Sweet SSJ. Someone posted art dedicated to May. Block. Comments on Hard Forks and HF19 raping the pool. Comments on new posts about doggy drool. I think Bernie just flagged him a second time for spite. I think Colonel's post took him 3 straight days and a night. Block. My sad life makes me want to die. All my baby does is scream and cry. 15 more upvotes and 15 million vests delegated to you. Thanks at Minnow Support for all that you do. Block. At Booster, at MSP Lovebot, at Rando Whale, and at Minnow Booster, your dank amps fill my pockets. Thanks swinging balls and Fat Rooster. I'm sending some love to those that do struggle. We're prepping our teams for the Sunday night huddle. Block. Your witness is broken. The price feed needs fixed. Stop using it here on the Steam at Chat Pricks. You have been flagged for stolen content spam. My witness update needed more RAM. Block. The beating continues as this place grows. This heartbeat is DNA, storing life's hopes and woes. So that's my ode to the blockchain. So, each one of those is meant to go contain. Like, I was literally sitting there. I get too many blocks now, but when I first started, it was actually Spitbank that encouraged me to do this. He said, go look at some of the blocks that are in there and go see what people are posting. And, these were, as I was doing that, I was taking some of what I was seeing in the blocks that I was witnessing when I was only witnessing like 10 or 14 blocks a day or something. And then I read those and I got familiar with the kind of stuff that people were writing in the blocks. And so this is representing sort of a subsection of what I was seeing every 3 seconds. Not now I'm witnessing them every 3 seconds, but or I guess it's not a new block comes every 3 seconds. I witness one once out of every 63 seconds. I get to be the block witness. But that poem is dedicated to what it's like being a witness and sort of assembling all the things that I kept seeing over and over in some of these different blocks that I was personally witnessing at the time.
That's really cool. It kind of reminds me of, have you heard of Blackout Poetry?
No.
So Blackout Poetry is when you take like a dictionary page or you take a page of a book and you black out everything except for the pieces that you want to be part of your poem. Felt like you were looking at a Steam It page and doing kind of the blackout poetry and blacking out the parts that you noticed.
Yeah, basically. So here, where did I get these? I go to witnesses. I'm going to go into aggroed, and then I'm going to go into witness blocks. So this, here's the link of what I was actually pulling things out of. And so if you go into any one of those blocks, the most recent one that I witnessed is 191-88822. And if I click into that, I can see there was a vote that happened, a reply at Bushkill. Then that was apparently a busy way of watching TV while we now have 10 times faster communication. But I love Mother Nature so much. The graphic is a higher level in smell and light. And most certainly go to you and your bees think, man. There's something weird about this one. Let me go look at another one. Sometimes the formatting is weird. This looks a little better. So there's like a transfer to booster. I see a vote. Somebody claims some of their rewards. I see a reply. Actually, this reply is in Spanish. Somebody followed somebody else. I see another vote. There's another follow, another vote. Here's a transfer. Oh, it looks like they were... Maybe that's another bid or a bid bot thing that somebody was doing. I don't know. Here's pitter patter. It looks like a reply, but wow, these are a lot bigger than what I remember back when I first started. There's just a lot more things happening. Here's Cheetah's flagging somebody.
You're making sure that happens.
Yeah, I mean, this is what. I got a post in here. So this is somebody's DTube post that they wrote. So that's pretty cool. I actually have like a brand new post that I witnessed and put on the blockchain today. I mean, I do a lot of them. So, this is always in here, but it's been a while since I've gone back to go look at these things. But, as I'm scrolling through, this is what I was reading through all of the posts. I was reading through all the comments. I've read through... just themes. I read through the transfers. I saw, I still think one of the most beautiful posts I've written was, I can't believe what I've witnessed as a witness. And let's see if I can do that in aggroed and maybe even Steam It. No, I'd have to go dig up. I'd have to dig through all my posts, but like I had a friend of mine that committed suicide while I was in grad school, and today it still bothers me. And when I, as a witness, one of the first things that I saw was in one of the posts that I witnessed. There was a girl that was suicidal, and there was a perfect stranger that was replying to her on Steam saying, life will be better. It's okay. Like this really supportive comment. And, in the rest of the internet, people might just freaking tell them, go die or kill yourself or fuck you or whatever. But in Steam, these perfect conditions make it so that you are incentivized to be kind to one another. And Ron uses a phrase of plastic little smiles. I don't think that having some politeness or some incentive to be not a dick is the same as a plastic little smile. But that was one of my favorite posts that I've ever done, because I was so proud to be a witness.
It's really cool. Well, and I've never seen the blocks like this. This is almost poetry in and of itself. I can see how it inspired you.
So I get
Sorry, go ahead.
well, I'm clearly getting a little verklempt here, but that's part of why I'm such a passionate advocate for this place. Because if what I think about is so my friend died, and he was just having a hard time, and he felt like he couldn't share it with anybody. But if he had had Steam, and maybe he could have made a post, and he still could have been anonymous or pseudo anonymous. Not everybody would know who he was, or maybe they wouldn't know anything other than him being a grad student. But if he had had a place that could have been supportive or a better community, then maybe he'd still be alive. And I check in on that girl every now and then that was saying that she was suicidal, and who knows? Maybe the random acts of kindness that this blockchain inspires is making this world a better place, making it easier. So that's what I think about. So sorry to get a little mushy on you. I know you didn't quite expect that, but that's why I quit my job. That's why I do this full time. I just think this is a life-changing platform.
Changing idea, I think, for sure, and incentivizing kindness. A different place than the internet. A lot of people who are brand new to the platform are the first to say, this is awesome, or this is feel supported, whereas other places on the internet, you're right, there might be who are saying nasty, awful things to each other. And a lot of that comes from they feel protected because they're anonymous to an extent. So because they're like, what are you going to do? I'm on the internet. And here, I mean, if you're mean, one way or another.
All right, give me a second. I'm going to try to get maybe it's that I'm ridiculously humbled. Meet your mods, meeting the news. I don't think it's these. Minnow area MSP.
Looking for a post?
Yeah, I'm trying to I had Paul Ag put together all of my posts into one Excel spreadsheet, but it's got thousands of things in here, so it's a little bit hard to search through. But the post is called something like "What I've Witnessed as a Witness." So I just wanted to find that and Paula G. So yeah, that's what Paula G gave to me, and somewhere in here is my post of what I've witnessed as a witness. I had like a big heart icon on it or something, but it's in my post somewhere. But it's not good live on air to just sort of look through posts. But so that's what I got. I gotta go put my game face back on here. But I don't know. What else is on your mind?
Just that's kind of the big thing that's going on there, and then and poetry. My mind has pretty much been on poetry. I'm praying for a snow day tomorrow.
Are we supposed to get tons of snow?
I got about 6 inches today, I think. I might be exaggerating. It might be closer to 3. But they have a very we can do anything kind of attitude. And buried in snow, and they still insist on not calling a snow day, and it drives me crazy. It's like, I don't want to drive in this. Don't make me. Please don't make me. So I'm really hoping for a snow day. Lauren says it's also snowing in Boulder.
Well, hopefully you get one and you can go spend your day steaming.
Always a snow day for you, though, I hear.
No, actually, it's been pretty warm. I live in Massachusetts. It was 50 degrees today.
Because you didn't have to work anymore.
I don't. Well, I work all the time. I don't have to commute to work. I now have the benefit of being able to work in my boxers and just sit at my computer and get stuff done.
Can't take it right now.
All right. All right. I gotta go. I gotta play a song. I'm gonna go pause the recording. I'm gonna go get my emotions back together for a moment. Do you want to give me a request here, Sunravel Me? Maybe we can go play Dice Bitches now, and I can go clear my palate a little bit.
Absolutely.
What's one of your favorite songs?
Stars by Coheed and Cambria.